Okay.
Taylor, 2 halves. I scored about 20 in the after halftime. What's the biggest change from your standpoint?
We made one little defensive adjustment, and we got to their shooters a little better. We let Kelsey Mitchell kind of split us a little bit on our pick and roll coverage in the first half, and that's a little bit on me to trying to get it out of her hands, but she just beat the whole defense early on. So we made an adjustment at halftime, and then we controlled the paint better in the second half. Some of the shots they made in the first half, they picked the ball up off the floor on a loose ball and kicked it out to somebody. And there's, Vivian's made 2, 5 feet behind the line, but she does that. I think, and then, we made sure tonight, as much as we could, that our best offensive players touched the ball a lot tonight. I mean, Elena got 17 shots, Ariel got 16 shots, Tosh got her shooting groove back a little bit tonight, and she got 10 shots. And then I thought maybe the biggest difference in the game was our bench in the second half too. Elizabeth and Maisha controlled the boards in the second half. You can see why we got Elizabeth. I mean, she gets 15 boards and 6 block shots. Had them kind of thinking about coming to the rim a little bit in the second half. And that's a nice thing to be able to tag team her and Shakira. Shakira struggled a little bit tonight, and Elizabeth, took over for it. And that's just, that's what we're going to need. I know Shatori didn't score a lot, but she came in and played really good defense. I thought she disrupted Mitchell when she guarded her too. So, that's a great team effort tonight. Rui kind of got our pace going for us when she came in, but we just got good performances up and down, particularly, down the stretch in the second half.
Did you feel like half-court offense worked a little bit better in that second half?
A little bit better. I thought, we got the ball to the right people. I thought we had, 6 or 7 bad possessions, but I thought the rest of the possessions we had were pretty quality ones. We set good screens. Our guards were able to penetrate and find people. We got kickouts to Ariel because we got the defense to collapse. We got passes behind the defense to Elizabeth because her defender came to help. So I thought we made good decisions with our passing in the second half too.
You game plan on Elizabeth having a career high 15 boards, but is this the type of thing that you kind of envision?
Yeah, I mean,
to bring her?
Yeah, I mean, somebody that can control the paint. They didn't get, very many second shots in the second half. I don't know how many they had in the first half, but it didn't seem like they got a lot. I know Engsler had some offensive boards in the first half, and we kind of took those out in the second half. But we didn't let their key post players. I don't think Melissa Smith or I think Egbo had 1 and Melissa had none because we did a good job of locking them out.
Perfect call for me. Thank you.
Jen?
Hey, Coach, sticking with Elizabeth for a second, and in particular those blocks, first, how nice is it to have that sort of presence, compared to previous years, and how much did those blocks, give you guys momentum maybe when you were struggling a little bit?
Oh, they give us huge momentum. It uplifts your whole defense because now you feel as guards, you can pressure a little bit more because you got good helpers behind you. We have now 2 post players, or 3 counting Elena, that can block shots. Elena got a couple tonight. It allows you to extend your defense a little bit on shooters.
And then with Tosh, it seemed like she was really effective in transition in particular, and making a lot of really good reads. What did you see from her tonight, and how was she able to be so effective in transition in particular?
Well, I think there was a couple things. I think number one, she knows we need to pick up the tempo a little bit. That's what our focus was offensively the last couple of days. I think the other part of it is she made them, a lot of teams try to force it to a left hand, and she made a lot of plays going left tonight. A big one to start the second half. We set it up for her, and teams, are going to have to learn that maybe that's not a good strategy every night to do that. And so I thought that, that made her effective. And it helps when you make one or two outside shots, and now the team has to play a little bit different too.
And then last thing, the past couple games, the opponent shooting percentages in the first half have probably been a little higher than you would like. And then kind of second half, you guys have kind of normalized that. Is that a pattern that concerns you, or something that you want to start quicker on the defensive end?
As I said, I take a little bit of the responsibility for the first half, because we tried to play a defense that we play against a lot of teams, and we tried to really disrupt Kelsey Mitchell. But she's so good at, splitting the defense, and she's quick that she can beat the big off the dribble, even when you're trying to trap her sometimes or hedge out on her. And so we changed it at halftime, and that allowed us. And I think teams, like Indiana and some others, have come out really loose. You got young players that are just, kind of playing. And I don't know that they feel pressure, because they don't have the pressure on them of being championship favorites every night. And so, they're looking at, hey, we're going to go try to upset against Washington. We're going to get everybody's best shot right now. Us and Connecticut and Seattle and Chicago and Las Vegas, you name it. Whoever, if you're in the top 4 or 5 teams, the lower teams in the standings right now are coming in saying, hey, we can make our week by trying to beat you. And so they come out loose and firing away. And, then eventually our pressure caught up to them a little bit, and they started to feel it a little bit more.
Thanks, Coach.
Wayne.
Hey, Coach. I know this is a young team, but with them being so young and energetic, did the pace they played with in the first half kind of throw you guys off? I know you made adjustments in the second half, but can you just talk about that first half?
I don't know that it threw us off. That's the pace we expected. We watched them on film score 101 the other night against LA. So the pace they were playing at is not a surprise, but, I think it actually, feeling it in the game, your body has to get used to it a little bit. But I don't think mentally it was a surprise. It's more just physically, locking in and understanding how quick some of their players are. You forget sometimes until you're reminded how quick Kelsey Mitchell is, or how quick Danielle Robinson is. And, if you haven't played against Emily Engstler, you don't understand until you play her how many times she gets offensive boards, because she's nonstop movement. And so those are things that, when you play teams, you got to get used to.
And lastly, Coach, with Elena, you guys are 5-2. Which this type of lift that she bring tonight, and just in general that makes this team so well when she's out there?
Well, 19.7 rebounds. I don't think that's very complicated. You're putting an MVP back in the lineup. Makes every team better. She could go play for them tonight, and they would be the favorite.
Nice, Coach. Safe travels.
That's it, Coach. Thank you for your time.
For both of you, what was the biggest difference in that second half where everything just kind of started clicking on both sides of it?
I think defensively, we just made an adjustment. The coaches made an adjustment as far as our coverage, and I think that helped us kind of settle in and lock in on personal tendencies a lot better.
How much easier does it make life when you've got somebody in pain?
It makes my life 100% easier because I'm out there blind. It's super helpful, and it makes you be more comfortable being able to pressure, knowing that you got a shot blocker like E in the back, and she's not like fouling on the shot block, she's knocking them down and they're still in bounds. So it's giving us like extra opportunities on the other end too. So it's super helpful.
Career high 15 boards also to go with 6 blocks. Is that just the way the game unfolded, or did something feel particularly well?
I tried to, especially coming off the bench, just bring energy. And, last game against Connecticut, we got out-rebounded like crazy. So my big focuses were bringing energy and rebounding the ball. And then defensively, this is a tough team just because they're so high-paced and high energy. So talking and just being a presence in the paint, that was really all I was trying to do.
One more, you, Ariel. What worked better offensively in the half court that kind of allowed you to get going? I don't know if you're just feeling it, but it seemed like the whole operation looked much better than it did in the first half.
Our defense was better, so that made our offense flow a lot better. And I think Tosh changed her pace a lot in that second half, and that was really helpful for kind of the spacing of our offense.
Sleeping high though.
Yeah, I mean, it's really where it comes from. I mean, it starts with her. The way that she pushes the ball, the way that she faces it in transition, and everything flows from that. I mean, they're not going to help off the lane, and if they do, they got another problem, you know. So it's definitely helpful when we're all kind of doing our small parts, and then they just got to pick their poison. And tonight I was poison.
We saw the kick out. I literally tweeted that. Pick your poison.
Yeah, like you
got kicked out.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All from me. Thank you.
Jen?
Hi, Elizabeth, just for you. I'm 5'4". How much fun is it to get 6 blocks in a game? I'm too short to know this.
Yeah, it's fun. You know? I mean, blocking is one of my favorite parts of the game. I just love it. I don't care who it is. If you're short, if you're tall, I'm gonna try to block it and try to be there for my teammates. Like Ariel said, like I think guards feel better knowing I'm back there and communicating and being a presence in the paint, and that allows them to play more free and more aggressive. But yeah, it's fun.
And then, I know you're not going to tell me all your secrets, but 6 blocks and no fouls. How do you do that?
I would say timing and knowing when to go for blocks too. If I'm in good position, I'll go. If not, like I'll just try to wall up or not like swat or anything. And some luck too, because sometimes fouls just happen. So a little bit of all of that.
Then Ariel, for you, Coach T was talking about how the bench was really impactful again. Obviously, Elizabeth had a big role in that, but what did you see from the bench this game?
I think we locked in on everybody rebounding. I think that was super helpful for us because it helped us get out in transition and run. But defensively, I think we locked in on our assignments, and that really helped us on the other end.
Thank you.
Wayne?
Hey, Ariel, question for you. Just mentally, how do you like how the team responded when you guys got down but continued to fight and pulled off the win?
I think we have a team with a lot of vets, a lot of people with experience. And unfortunately, we kind of have put ourselves in this position before. So it's a matter of us not losing our head and not getting away from the game plan when things kind of go south. You just can't go rogue. Once we locked into each other and focused on what we all knew to be the game plan, I think it turned out to be a better situation for us.
And then for you, Elizabeth, seems like Rory Machida has a great connection with you. Can you just talk about her passing ability and just the way how she seems to find you in your spots?
Yeah, Rui's a really smart player. She doesn't have to talk a lot, but she puts herself in good positions, and I try to do the same. So I feel like that's really where our connection stems from, just being in spaces that make a lot of basketball sense. So yeah, that's really all I try to do.
Thank y'all and safe travels.
Thank you.
Nathan?
Hey, ladies, great win tonight. The question for both of you. Elizabeth, you weren't here for opening night, but Ariel, you were. You saw we've seen 2 different Indiana Fever teams. Coach Stanley coached in the first opening night, and now Coach Knox. How did you guys approach this game tonight, defensively and offensively?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't here for the first game. I was kind of basing how we played based on their last couple of games, and they've had a lot of momentum. They're learning each other, obviously, with a lot of youth. They're going to play pretty free, which can be kind of a trap and kind of challenging. And so we approached it as being as focused as possible, not getting too high or too low. And yeah, so defensively, we're using our coverages and adjusting if we needed to, and offensively trusting, what we're doing and continuing to learn each other.
And lastly, who's paying? Maisha's birthday was yesterday. Who took her out to dinner, or who bought her gifts?
I got her a gift, but she didn't even know. So I might take it back.
I'm new here, so I didn't get her.
I'm new here.
I'm new here.
How long you gonna say that?
No, I'm gonna say it.
birthday's
I'm
in July.
gonna say it for a while.
Thank y'all. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Ariel, Elizabeth, that concludes media. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
And that concludes media for tonight. We will send out more information about the rest of the week. Thank you, everyone.
Wondering that.